The global auto industry has reached a defining moment, and few vehicles embody this turning point as clearly as the BYD Atto 2. The world has been watching closely as Chinese automakers push harder into markets that were once dominated exclusively by Western and Japanese companies. For years, the conversation revolved around whether China could ever truly deliver a car that didn't just compete on price, but also impressed with design, performance, safety, and long-term value. With the BYD Atto 2, the debate takes on a new dimension, because this small, smart, and surprisingly powerful electric vehicle is not just about affordability. It's about redefining what the next generation of cars should look like, how they should perform, and how accessible they should be to everyday drivers worldwide. When you first look at the BYD Atto 2, it doesn't scream budget EV. In fact, the styling reflects a more modern, minimalistic design language that feels more European than what many expected from a Chinese brand. The sharp LED headlamps, the aerodynamic body lines, and a subtle but futuristic stance make it clear that BYD has been paying attention to international tastes. This is not just a car built for the domestic Chinese market. It is very much a global contender. But beyond design, what makes the Atto 2 fascinating is its positioning. It is meant to sit below the already successful BYD Atto 3, offering something smaller, lighter, and more affordable, yet still brimming with the technology and efficiency that have made BYD one of the fastest-growing automakers in the world. The battery is where BYD holds a trump card that most rivals struggle to match. BYD's proprietary Blade Battery technology has been one of the company's biggest breakthroughs, offering higher safety levels, longer life cycles, and impressive energy density. In the Atto 2, this technology is expected to shine, not just by giving decent range on a single charge, but by lowering costs in a way that makes the car accessible to millions of drivers who want to shift from gasoline but can't afford the premium pricing of a Tesla, a Volkswagen ID series, or a Hyundai Ioniq. Imagine a car that delivers practical daily range, charges quickly, and doesn't compromise on safety, all at a price that undercuts most of the competition. That is where the Atto 2 story becomes powerful. For years, Tesla has dominated headlines, but Elon Musk himself has repeatedly acknowledged the threat coming from China. He once stated that Chinese automakers were the most competitive in the world, and the Atto 2 is the perfect proof. While Tesla focuses heavily on mid- and high-end segments, BYD is quietly building dominance in the affordable EV space. This matters because the mass adoption of electric vehicles will not be decided by luxury cars. It will be decided by entry-level and mid-range EVs that millions of people can buy without government subsidies or painful financial strain. In that sense, the Atto 2 could be far more important to the EV revolution than a flashy $100,000 electric sports car. Driving experience also matters, and early impressions suggest the Atto 2 does not feel like a stripped-down budget car. The handling feels precise, the interior is surprisingly well-appointed with BYD's now signature rotating touchscreen, and the ride quality is tuned for comfort without feeling disconnected. This balance is crucial because customers in Europe, Asia, and other global markets are far more discerning than they were even 5 years ago. Cheap plastic cabins or laggy software are no longer forgiven, even in lower-cost vehicles. BYD seems to understand this better than most, and the Atto 2 reflects that learning curve. Global expansion is where the Atto 2 will make the most noise. Europe in particular is facing an EV affordability crisis. While governments are pushing for accelerated electrification, the average EV price is still far above what middle-class families can afford. The BYD Atto 2 enters this market at a time when demand for affordable EVs is peaking. If BYD can deliver this car in Europe with a price point significantly below competitors like Volkswagen's ID.2, Renault's upcoming compact EV, and Stellantis' small electrics, it could capture massive market share. In fact, analysts already believe that cars like the Atto 2 will be the wedge that allows Chinese automakers to dominate the European EV landscape within the next 5 years. Another layer to the story is technology integration. BYD has not just built good batteries, it has built an ecosystem. The Atto 2 is expected to come with advanced driver assist features, seamless smartphone connectivity, and over-the-air software updates. These are things once reserved for premium brands, but Chinese automakers like BYD are making them standard, which raises consumer expectations across the board. When buyers in developing nations or even mature markets realize that they can get these features in a buyer's affordability is really big. Development zur Personality in Beefenly that buyers in developing nations or even signaling low-cost EV. The pressure on legacy automakers like Toyota, Ford, and BMW will be immense. The affordability angle cannot be overstated. For decades, owning a new car was tied to financial compromise. Either you stretched your budget for a well-equipped car, or you settled for less. The Atto 2 challenges this notion by offering a vehicle that feels modern, connected, and safe, but still accessible. If BYD succeeds in scaling production and pricing, the Atto 2 could become one of the world's best-selling EVs, following the path of models like the Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic in their internal combustion glory days. From a timeline perspective, the Atto 2 is launching at exactly the right time. Around the world, EV adoption is moving from early adopters to the mainstream. Consumers who once hesitated because of range anxiety or high costs are now seeing viable alternatives. Charging infrastructure is expanding rapidly, especially in Europe and Asia, and battery costs are dropping. Into this moment steps the Atto 2, a car that answers the question millions of buyers are asking: how can I go electric without going broke? But of course, challenges remain. Trade tensions between China and the West are heating up, and tariffs could impact the Atto 2's pricing strategy in some regions. Additionally, the competition is not asleep. European and Korean automakers are rushing to develop their own sub-$25,000 EVs, and Tesla itself has been rumored to be working on a so-called Model 2 that targets the same demographic. If that car ever arrives, the competition will be fierce. Still, BYD has a head start, and the Atto 2 could establish itself before rivals catch up. Cultural perception is another obstacle. In many Western markets, made in China still carry stereotypes of cheapness or lack of quality. But that perception is rapidly changing as people experience vehicles like the BYD Atto 3, Dolphin, and Seal, all of which have impressed reviewers globally. If the Atto 2 delivers as promised, it could be the car that finally erases those outdated assumptions. At the end of the day, the BYD Atto 2 represents more than just a new car launch. It represents a shift in global automotive power. For the first time, millions of people outside China may find that the best car for their money is Chinese, not Japanese, American, or German. That is a profound change, one that reflects both the speed of China's technological growth and